Now, once upon a time, in the heart of Europe, there lived a diverse group of people. They spoke different languages, had different customs, and worshipped different gods. But they were all united by one thing, that they were all European. For centuries, Europe was divided into a patchwork of kingdom and empire. Each ruler claimed to be supreme, and they often fought wars over territory and power. But as the years passed, a new idea began to take hold, the idea of nationalism. Nationalism is what? It is a belief that people of the same nation should have their own independent country. It is a powerful force that can unite people and inspire them to fight for their freedom. In the late 18th and 19th century, nationalism began to rise all over Europe. People began to identify from their nation more than with their king or emperor. They demanded their own language, own culture, and most important, their own government. Then, in the late, one of the first countries to experience the rise of nationalism was France. In 1789, the French people overthrew the monarchy and stabilized a republic. The French Revolution was a watershed moment in European history and is inspired nationalist movement all over the continent. In the following decades, nationalist movement emerged in many other European countries, including Germany, Italy, Poland, Greece. These movements were often led by intellectuals and artists who promoted the idea of national identity. Nationalism also played a role in Napoleon Wars. Napoleon Bonaparte was a French general who rose to power during the French Revolution. He conquered much of Europe and stabilized the First French Empire. Napoleon conquest inspired nationalism in the conquered countries as people resisted his rule and fought for their freedom. After Napoleon defeat in 1815, the European part tried to restore the old order, but the rise of nationalism could not be stopped. In the following decades, many new nations states were formed in Europe, and the most important and most significant ghatna, the rise of nationalism in Europe, had a profound impact on all the European continent. It led to the collapse of old empire and creation of new nation states. It also led to wars and revolutions, and people fought for their independence. But nationalism also brought many positive changes to Europe. It promoted democracy and human rights, and it helped to create a more united and peaceful continent. Nowadays, today, nationalism is still a powerful force in Europe, but it's no longer the same as it was in 19th century. In the past, nationalism was often associated with wars and conflict, but today, nationalism is more often associated with peace and cooperation. European countries are still proud of their national identities, but they are also committed to working together to build a better future of the continent. So I think it was a profound summary of rise of nationalism in Europe, and all the text can be understood and read by the desired